What is going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a good Wednesday. Bobby Fi here. She should be here any minute. Good to see y'all back in here. Sorry about this lighting thing. I'm going to change my lighting real quick, make this a little bit easier to look at. I think there's Sheets right now as we speak. How's it going, man?
Yeah, what's going on?
Just trying to figure out what's becoming kind of a messy slate here.
There are a lot of good plays.
There's a lot of good plays. It went from a slate that I thought was going to be medium high scoring to a slate that I think is going to be very high scoring.
Yeah, I went from a 1-game slate to like a 10-game slate now. So
Yeah, and I think it's really important to not lose sight of the original plays. The Denver guys, and again, I'm expecting Chris Paul not to play. I sort of expected that this morning when I saw the line in that game. There's no reason why Phoenix would be an underdog to Golden State at home at this point of the season, but now it looks like Chris Paul is not going to play. So that's yet another thing. So what I've got written as sort of the overall outlook of what I'm doing on this slate is Jamal Murray is going to still be in most of my lineups. Michael Porter Jr. will be in a good portion of my lineups, and I'll have some Aaron Gordon where I don't have Michael Porter Jr. And I'm fine with stacking up that game using one of the guys on the run back, whether it be Randall or Barrett, or even guys who look a little thinner, like Quickly or something like that. I still really like SGA, and I think his ownership is going to be a little bit lower. So I'm very big on that play, and I also think Giddey's in play, especially on FanDuel. I ended up getting him more. I think you're looking at one guy from Boston. Now, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum are all really interesting to me. So I just have one Boston. And then I'm deciding about my Booker. I kind of like the idea because Booker hasn't been overplayed in these situations, keeps getting 50 plus. Good matchup. Obviously, a game that they want to win at home against Golden State. So one of Booker, Payne, or Ayton. I think Ayton's going to be the projection darling. But I don't think that I don't think you have to play all these guys. This is what I'm doing.
Well, the problem with Ayton and these other guys is the Dwayne Dedmon thing. I mean, what you got to figure out what we're doing with that. I mean,
we got to figure out if he's playing first.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if he's playing and starting.
So if he's playing, he's starting.
I mean, how do you not play him? I mean,
it's a tough one not to play. But then what happens if Tyrese Halliburton gets announced out in the next 45 minutes? Then you've got the best play on the slate in TJ McConnell. So it even locks up guards more. And I agree with you about Ayton. I'm not as high on the centers anyway today. There's some good center plays, don't get me wrong. Other than Dedmon, though, I think Dedmon is the guy I prioritize, and then I figure the rest out, assuming that Dedmon does play. And
well, I would love if for Dedmon would be a later game, so that if I wasn't doing well, I could just pivot to DeAndre Jordan. But that doesn't work that way.
Yeah, where is the Wendell Carter being out thing? Because I'm seeing that some people writing that. I don't have Wendell Carter as being out. Are you seeing anything with that?
No, but I brought up Bamba earlier. I do see him as just questionable, Carter. He didn't participate in the shoot around.
That's a real thing.
And he had plantar fasciitis in his right foot. Discouraging, he was held out of the shoot around. Okay, well, that's 7:00.
So we at least should know that and Halliburton, which are two really big pieces, because obviously Mo Bamba, if he starts, would be a good play. The weird thing, and especially against a team with size, you'd think they would start Bamba. I don't know. I also think that you give a giant boost to Jalen Suggs there.
And are we sure that TJ McConnell starts if Halliburton?
I don't care. I don't care if he does or doesn't.
Can't play and behaves 4,100.
Who? Oh, no. I mean, I want a guy who's actually running the offense, not a guy who's, Yeah, I mean, he can do whatever. I just think we're way reaching on this slate if we play him. Whereas McConnell is I would say McConnell's median score should be 28 or something.
Okay.
Buddy Hield, all those guys have become better plays as well. But I mean, we'll see about it. We'll have that information beforehand. So,
and with if you play those guys, I mean, then you could really play LaMelo. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Mobley and Kevin Love should be in heavy play with no Jared Allen. And that's nice because you don't have to use him at center on FanDuel, on DraftKings.
Tough slate.
Yeah. So, but those are my like 8 priorities: Murray, one of Porter or Gordon, and I'll even throw Bruce Brown into the mix. Although
Well, I'll tell you what. For me, I mean, I have a guy that I think I have 100% of my lineups didn't even talk about yet.
Who's that?
Dinwiddie.
I mentioned Dinwiddie. I said THJ, Wood, or Dinwiddie.
Oh, okay.
3.
Okay.
Yeah. So my favorite being Wood, my second favorite being THJ. Dinwiddie would be my third.
Really? Okay.
Personally, but I also am biased to it's. I feel like the Christian Wood thing. I could see feeling like a total idiot by the end of the day for doing this. What he does have is forward eligibility. It's his former team. They need somebody who can score. They give up 1 million points down low, and Christian Wood could go nuts here. It's just a little worrisome to me about the minutes because they haven't. I mean, he hasn't played 30 minutes in a game this season, and coming off of whatever, and what do you want to call it, an illness, I guess, but he's coming off of not playing at all. To have him play on a back-to-back, his season high in minutes is just not something you're used to seeing teams in the NBA do, but it's possible. And I think his upside is like 50 to 60. I think he could easily go crazy in this kind of a matchup.
So check this out. So for those of you who didn't hear, so I posted my first ever package on Stake Kings.
Yep.
And one of the things that's cool is it allowed me to link like my Twitter and all that stuff to on there. And so whenever we launch this, it actually populates to my Twitter. So everybody that has Stake Kings is actually piped into this right now. I mean, if they look.
I'm gonna say don't go join Stake Kings yet until we give you a promo code.
So
I'm gonna say
no, but I put it on my. So if you pull up my profile there on Stake Kings, you'll see actually this live stream, like going on right now.
Interesting. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, because my Twitter account is linked to this restream, and so I put my Twitter account in my Stake Kings profile.
Mm.
So whenever we do anything on the live stream, it automatically goes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Goes in there. So again, I'm trying to make it as engaging as possible for the Stake King stuff, and I really gave them a hard time today, helping with some bugs, but I got it all worked out.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we have to obviously see if Dedmon's playing.
It looks like right now he's projected to play.
He's projected to play.
No, according to the other sites, they're releasing it while we're on air right now that he's projected to play. I don't have the official word yet, but that's what we've got right now.
Okay. Peyton Pritchard is projecting at 7x.
That feels like, I mean, like even if he gets there, that feels like the most fadeable chalk of anything.
Yeah, that feels like he'll get 24. You know what I mean? Like
right. Maybe. Maybe Tatum gets 75 and Brown gets 55 or something. And these other guys all end up at 20. Yeah, I mean that feels more fadeable to me. I actually like White just as much, so I would go towards White in that situation.
Yeah.
All right, so let's let's go through some questions because there's a lot of stuff we're still trying to figure out with starting lineups and who's going to play and all this stuff. And Tim's pointing out in chat that Turner and Ayton could be contrarian at this point with the cheap centers, and I think that actually is. That's if it wasn't Ayton, you know what I mean? If it was another guy who can get me 50 or 60, and I know Ayton can, like theoretically, but I like the idea of doing something like that. I think that actually is a really good way to build for a tournament lineup. You can play 2 guys who are really good plays and just get off of and hope Dedmon ends up with 25 to 28, right?
Yeah.
But they don't need to play big. Miami does not. This is not a team you need to play big against.
You mean Toronto?
Miami against Toronto.
Right.
You don't need to play. You don't need to play.
Oh, sorry. Right. No, I'm saying the Toronto.
Like Dedmon could start and play 15 minutes. That's on the table.
Right. Right.
In which case they're probably using.
And he's got a hurt foot. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because you're going to get the Hayward Highsmith's going to get minutes, and I don't know. They're going to use
Jokic or that guy.
What's that?
That Jokic guy, is he the?
Jovic, yeah, he's just so raw. I can't see them giving him a ton of run in Toronto. It just feels hard to see, but they don't have enough bodies either. So I don't know, man. And I guess I maybe buried the who might be interesting. I think Jimmy Butler is like a really good tournament play. Obviously, I just am concerned a little bit when the ownership goes to him because his usage never gets like super crazy high, but it seems like every play that matters, he sort of ends up creating. And you know, there's a couple other things here. Who was the better GP play? Oh, I'm not going to answer questions about who was the better GP play last night on this kind of a slate. I don't. Oh, it's here. Oh, if it costs you 15K, I'll answer it. Who was the better GP play last night when you have Podol and when Nurkic was ruled in? I had switched to him. Well, apparently you're saying that because I don't know how to answer that question. You know, Podol had the better game. That's all I know what to say. Podol and Nurkic I had rated basically the same last night. Josh Green from Dallas is the guy who's just been brought up in chat, so I thought I'd mention him. I think that actually could happen where Josh Green does get minutes, and it scares me a little bit for like the THJ and other. It's a back-to-back for Dallas. Like, are they going to, you know, if things start to crumble, but they're also playing Houston? I don't know. I can't get to Josh Green on this particular slate, but I understand the thinking. Pretty much no matter what happened with Josh Green, even if he was starting, I don't know that I'd play him. I think I would still prefer to play Hardaway. Incredibly low usage, but it's okay. It's just not the craziest thing. And then some other question sheets about Miles Turner on FanDuel at 71. I actually like Miles Turner better on FanDuel than I do on DK by a lot. Power forward eligible. Sheets, any Turner for you?
It's that center position again.
I think forward eligible on FanDuel.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Hold on, let me just see. Let's see. So I did play like a bunch of FanDuel lineups just in the lottery. Let me see what I got of him. Let me see. Let me just who are we asking about?
To Miles Turner.
Turner, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting about 30% of him.
Mm-hmm. I've got
but
40.
The higher owned guys, I'm getting more Christian Wood and a pretty cheap Kevin Love, actually.
Yeah, I like the Kevin Love. I like spending seemingly too much, what looks like too much for Evan Mobley. It's a very different situation with Jared Allen gone. It also worries me that Mobley's going to have to guard Giannis part of the game. So it's sort of, I guess, you know, it depends on what your bag is, kind of a thing. On FanDuel, my priorities are, I still like Dedmon, Jamal Murray. I love LaMelo at 8,300. I love Michael Porter Jr. or Gordon, using one of those two. And then you get to the Dallas stuff, and I think that Dinwiddie on FanDuel is my favorite Dallas play. Well, Dinwiddie and Christian Wood are right there with each other. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. at a little bit higher, 4,500. Just a note though, Tim Hardaway Jr. does not need to go off in this situation. It's happened many times before Dinwiddie even got there, and it's not like a lock to go off. Just want to throw that out there. And a question here from Jeff: 3 Mavs in the same lineup, okay? I think that they are. I think I would try to get 2. How about you?
Yeah, I like Dinwiddie and Wood together. I don't think you need to play both at Hardaway also.
Yeah, I've got some with all 3, but I get you.
And I like, by the way, your analysis of the Denver game earlier, that Aaron Gordon could actually play like the 5.
Yeah, I think it's really possible that he does. I don't have any DeAndre Jordan right now, and maybe that's a mistake because the game starts later. But I have a lot of guys in that game, and DeAndre Jordan just didn't cross didn't tickle my fancy today. I understand if you wanted to do a Christian Wood, Dwayne Dedmon and DeAndre Jordan. It also gives you flexibility if you're playing more guys from that game. So I'm open. I'm totally open to it. I just didn't get there. And I think that also you could argue for the play that no one will play now that looks terrible on paper is, but actually maybe in real life worth something would be the long shot Drummond play, but I don't think I'm going to do that. With no Zion, McCollum over Ball, MJ's asking, on which site? They're different prices on DraftKings stuff. Must be a FanDuel question. I have Ball ahead of McCollum. He's also got a much better skill set for FanDuel. That question doesn't come into play on DraftKings because they have a big enough price gap between the two. So I would play probably McCollum on DraftKings and Ball. I don't like playing jump shooters on back-to-backs if I can help it. But McCollum is certainly, he made 7 threes last night. I don't think I'd be playing McCollum on DraftKings, to be honest with you. Actually, I don't think I'm playing any McCollum, period, to be honest with you. So it's fine. It just doesn't stand out as being like as good a play. How do you feel about LaMelo versus him?
I like LaMelo.
What?
I like LaMelo.
Yeah. Is Dwight Powell a reach on FanDuel? Yes, absolutely. Dwight Powell's a reach. Sheets, I know you're a Dwight Powell guy, and the projections
Not today.
The projections like him.
Not today.
Yeah, for me, I will take the pass on Dwight Powell.
Another guy.
Somebody else can have his 16 fantasy points.
Another guy who's just pretty shooting dependent, but from the Dallas game is Reggie Bullock. Just figured I would throw that name out there.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible play, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Just no reason this has to. This I don't see this as benefiting Reggie Bullock. I actually think it's a downgrade for him, and the perception will be that this is some sort of an upgrade. Reggie Bullock has never created a shot in his life, so I can't get behind it personally. But look, there's going to be a night where he hits 7 threes, and I'm going to look like an idiot for saying stuff like that. But I need to narrow my guys.
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not today.
Hopefully, well, I don't know why it would it just, the guy can play 40 minutes and stand in the corner and put up 15 to 10 fantasy. I mean, he can do absolutely nothing. That's why Finney Smith is not making it for me. He would be ahead of Bullock for me, but I'm not getting into the weird Dallas stuff. I'm just playing Dinwiddie, Hardaway, and Wood. I'm not playing anybody else, even though I could see an argument made for some of these guys. DFS is the one who's going to get some ownership, and I just think I'll pass. That's more of a FanDuel play anyway, but I think I'm just going to pass on that. May end up stuck with him once. Here, Peyton Wavy is asking, he's stuck on a 2v2 between Jalen Green and Turner or Payne and Randall. Yikes.
I wouldn't play either.
I like Payne on FanDuel. It depends on the rest of your lineup on that one. I don't know how to answer that question because Randall's the play to me because of you're playing at least 2 guys from Denver.
Any news out of Orlando or anything? Or any of this early game stuff yet or no?
Yeah, well we got Halliburton in.
Halliburton's in. Okay,
that's a good one. I'm happy. It makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Deadman right now is on course to play. That's all we've got.
Didn't say start.
Doesn't say anything. I would be surprised if they didn't start him because they always do in these situations. But I've been wrong before. They could just go small, and I guess you got Jim because you're playing against Thaddeus Young and Koloko, and you just don't need the size. Even Boucher, you really don't need size. You can play Jimmy Butler, you can play Caleb Martin on those guys. You can play Max Struss on those. You can play Duncan Robinson. He's 6'9". You could guard those guys. Yeah, if you've got 2 Denver, I would lean the Payne and Randall route personally. Jalen Green did not cross my radar at all. It feels like a forced game stack play, to be honest with you. It's the worst matchup in basketball in general for fantasy is against this Dallas team, just because they play so slow. So I'm not getting to any of Houston, and if I did, it would be Sengun, not Jalen Green. Again, he's another one going to put 50 real life points, and I'll be wrong sometimes, but I don't think tonight's the night.
Another guy you could play with Marcus Smart out is Jaylen Brown.
Love Jaylen Brown. Love Jaylen Brown and Tatum, and yet I have almost none of them in my lineups. It's really
What
frustrating.
about Derek White?
I mentioned him at the beginning. I like him better than I like Pritchard by a little bit, but it's not like they don't have other guys. You know what I mean? It's a good matchup and a good pace and all the things that you want to see. But, you know, how much usage is Derek White really going to get? Like, I actually do like him, but it's going to go through Brown and Tatum and to some extent Horford, in my opinion. And I actually think the weirdest part is Horford is like the guy who just crushes his price every night and no one's playing him on a little revenge trip back to Atlanta.
I know. He's been there so many times.
I know. But you know what? He usually plays pretty well. I did a little research on that one earlier today when I thought we'd have to find creative plays. Now there's just any play that's not on the main chalk is creative, which is why I like Shea. And what I'm going to try to do is try to get a lineup with Shea and Booker. I want to have the late swap flexibility in case any weirdness opens up. You've got New York on the back-to-back. You've got Chris Paul, who we're projecting to be out. You've got Denver. We don't know what their starting lineup's going to look like. So there's just a lot of things in that later game. You'd think they would just play Jordan, but and I'll tell you what, my sneaky play though is Hartenstein in that game. I think that there's a chance Hartenstein has a big game here. Foul trouble prevented him from playing last night.
What's he, 5,500?
On FanDuel, I like him. I don't like him on DraftKings. He's 52 on FanDuel, but he's a better FanDuel player because he can get like 6 or 7 stocks in this, or if things go right. But yeah, it's kind of a weird slate. I'd like to see the starting lineups. I'm not really that interested in these first games outside of I really like both Shea and Giddey. And Porzingis was in my original build on FanDuel, but has sort of moved to the wayside because of the other stuff that's opened up. I do have Giannis in one of my 2 FanDuel lineups. For what it's worth, the projection on SaberSim, I'll give one piece of things for free away. They have Tatum as the highest scoring player on the slate, period, like raw points, which is weird to see over Giannis. And I think that's, I think 8 times out of 10, that's probably wrong. But
yeah.
Just for what it's worth, Atlanta's the team that if you put an athletic like against versatile, forwards, they're basically the worst team in the NBA at guarding them, and they have 2 of them for Boston. Are you getting to any? Because I'm getting to a little bit of Van Vliet tonight.
Again, any of those people.
Gary Trent's out, by the way. So is
I knew that.
Just want to point out that Van Vliet without Siakam has put up 46 or more in all but one game. It's not a good matchup, too. But I do kind of like him a little bit. Just can't quite get to him. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think one way to get different here with some of this stuff is to try to play like guys like, I mean, look, no one's playing Booker. Right as of right now, it looks like the guy just puts up 50 most of this time without Chris Paul, and now he's actually got a good matchup. I really like Booker tonight, and I also really like Shea. So I might have to find a way to force those guys both in, which means I might have to sacrifice Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sacrifice somebody.
And for you, I know it's not going to be Dinwiddie.
It might be.
I'm a little worried about it being Dinwiddie for me, to be honest with you.
I hear you.
I don't feel great about this.
I mean,
the way it is right now.
I want to play both Gordon and Porter Jr. though. I don't have to do that, right?
You don't have to play them together. I've got them split up mostly. I like Porter Jr. better. But I think that what you do is you treat it like you play one, because Gordon doesn't need to he's not going to offensively try to create as much for other people. He'll do a little bit of it, but it's going to be, the ball is going to be with Porter Jr. and with Murray most of the time. So I'm okay with Gordon. I mean, and for what it's worth, we've seen Gordon fail, not just miserably, we've seen them put up 10 fantasy points in a game like this without Murray and Porter Jr. and Jokic. We've seen this before.
Right.
I like David. I got a good question. This one makes me sick. I really like Clay on DraftKings, and I'm just not getting to him anymore with all this other stuff. But I won't be surprised at all if he puts up 40 plus. I won't be surprised if he scores 30 real life points. To be honest, I really don't like that I'm not playing him. But it's just there's too many other good plays here for me to prioritize them. Unfortunately, I don't know what that question is. Dunbar Bucks out. I don't know what that means. Is the lineup? Does that mean the Bucks lineup's out? I guess. Let's see. I don't have that.
I'm just stuck on what to do with Dedmon, if you want to know the truth.
Oh, Holiday, Allen, and Pat Connaughton are all out.
Huh?
Pat Connaughton we already knew. Grayson Allen we were expecting. All that really does is emphasize that Giannis is a better play than he was. And Javon Carter is probably too thin to play on either side at this price. But I think he's fine. I think Javon Carter is your second buck if you're picking one. But yeah, remember, we just had the situation come up without Giannis too. So this is not all that new of territory for us. And I wouldn't overreact to it. That's where I'm at right now. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the injury news. It just was hard with the Bucks out thing because I didn't know what that meant. So I'm just responding as I see it, but I appreciate that.
God, he's got to play Jamal Murray, right?
Got to play Jamal Murray or Porter Jr., in my opinion. I don't think that you have to play them both together, but I do think you need at least one of them. It's also the Knicks' bad defense on a back-to-back, and it's the later game. It's just like everything lines up for you kind of to want to be a part of that.
I mean, I've got lineup I like now is 1,400 left to be spent.
See, probably I wouldn't do that in my big buy-in, but I don't think
I'm not going to do it at all. I'm just trying to think of where to upgrade.
Yeah. We'll talk through it a little bit. we got a few more minutes.
Well, I mean, currently I have
Wendell Carter Jr. is out. Sorry, Sheets. I had to tell you that.
Oh. So what does this mean to the average man?
It means is Mo Bamba starting? Which probably the answer is yes.
And if Mo Bamba is starting, does that make him a better play than Dedmon?
No, I think you look at it as you play those two guys together. That's the way I would choose to approach it. Fuck. It's a much more speculative play than Dedmon. I don't think he's gonna start for what it's worth. I think they'll start Okiki, and
that's a tough team to not start him.
But Okiki is not like tiny, and Karl Anthony Towns doesn't post anybody up anymore anyway. And Gobert is nothing, does nothing underneath. He just rebounds.
And how many minutes is he really going to play, Bob? He hasn't played more than 22, 24 the whole season. I mean,
yeah, but he can play 30. He's like a really good fantasy point per minute guy. That's a tough one. Maybe playing him off the bench is not the worst idea in the world. I like what Iron Man's saying. The Booker Butler. That's what I did the other night. I'm into that idea. I don't think that. Weirdly, I think Butler is going to be more owned than Booker. Can that be right? That feels a little funny. I guess positional. That's positional. Yeah, that's why. Who do I like more, Love or Chuma? Chuma is not even in the radar anymore.
Who is he?
I don't think you're not playing Chuma Okiki. I don't care how many minutes he plays. I don't care if he puts up 50 fantasy points. It's just the wrong play. Let me just make sure he's not crazy cheap on. He's 4,900. You're playing Love over him, but the question is, do you even want to play either of them?
So it's definitely worth doing an update for Mo Bamba.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick look and see if we've got anything here.
I don't have anything up yet though. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to wait that out a little bit. I mean, that's like the opposite of what you need. So it's an early game, like.
Yeah, and I've got to go in just a minute, so to get finishing my builds. So I'm
gonna talk through mine a little bit. So I'm gonna stick around.
Next time I'll wait till you come on because it's if I jump off, then it means I can't go through it. But it's all right.
Oh,
No, it's no problem. It's no problem. Sorry, it's my bad. LaMelo or Halliburton? It's LaMelo for me. Sheets.
LaMelo.
Yeah. Although I certainly don't mind Halliburton. But I'm with you. LaMelo is my guy.
But in
But I like
fairness,
LaMelo better on FanDuel. Go ahead.
you were saying something about his minutes.
I was worried about his minutes coming off of the major injury, but he played 33 minutes in the last game.
Yeah.
That game didn't go to overtime or anything, did it? I hope it didn't. His usage is still over 30%. I love Halliburton. It might even be a mistake on my part, honestly, to say LaMelo over Halliburton straight up. Actually, I don't even know if I'm right about that. It's really close between those two. But
Yeah, so they're projecting. Well, I don't know who's starting yet, but they're projecting Bamba with now 24 fantasy points. So I guess that they're projecting to start.
I think that would be his projection if he's not starting even, actually.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I think if he's starting, you'd see closer to 30.
Well, let me see how many minutes this is based on. 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think that's a reasonable estimate if he started.
Yeah. God, no, he could go nuts. I don't know why they wouldn't start him. That way you have two guys who hate coming out like Towns and Gobert guarding two guys who are going to,
right,
versatile and can shoot it. Like, it seems like you should be playing those guys together. Yeah, but Bol is absolutely, he's fine. I just don't think you're trying to get out of your way to play him. Oh, it's his B-Day. It's his birthday. There you go.
There you go.
There's the winner. I don't mind Bol. I'm just not playing him personally. I do like Suggs a lot better, and I like him better on FanDuel especially.
That's me as well.
All right, I'm gonna let Sheets go through the rest of his things.
Okay.
Sheets, have a good night. Good luck to all you guys. I'll be in Discord. I'm just gonna try and finish my builds real quick.
Yeah, so I'll just talk through this a little bit. I'll keep the chat up over here so I can see you guys have any questions coming in. What I'm doing right now, just so you know, I'm now updating the projections with the Bamba news, and I think that, well, we're not done yet because I don't think we have official word that Dedmon is starting, but I think that's a reasonable assumption to make, at least for now. If anybody gets Dedmon, official Heat starters, let me know. But they made a good point on the other show that it's also possible that Dedmon, even though he starts, number one, doesn't close, and Bobby's even more pessimistic outlook is maybe he only plays 15 minutes. I mean, as someone who's going to be, to say the least, chalky, I don't know. Yeah, there's no indication yet, Payton? Okay. We'll stay on that. You like Derek White in all your lineups at FanDuel? Is that what you're saying? Well, these guys still have Carter in, so I have to wait on those clown shows. We do have a half an hour. I mean, it's no stress actually. Let me just see. Yeah, these guys still have Bamba out. I mean, Carter in. So we'll just wait on that for a little bit. You have Yepsy starting. That's confirmed? Let me just for the hell of it, go to. Yes, OX is available to play. And I have starters for T-Wolves. Yeah, definitely plenty of time. But I will, double check that. But does it impact that much? What am I really playing in the early game? So in the early games, I really think that the real decision is whether to play LaMelo and or Bamba. I don't think much anybody else is in play from those games. And then you can wait to see what happens with Dedmon to make sure that he's starting at the 7:30 game before you decide whether you want to play him or not. And then there's a whole bunch of them, right? The 7:30s to 8s and the 8:30s. And then you can, you know, you really should try to backload as much of this Denver as possible. And that's what I have in my big buying right now, like way too much Denver, way too much. I have two guys from Phoenix. I have 8 and Booker on Phoenix for no other reason that, you know, they're good plays and it buys me some time. This Dallas game is at 8:30. That's actually pretty helpful. So, I mean, you could, I mean, if you wanted to, you could make like really good lineups out of just the Dallas, Denver, and Phoenix game if you wanted to. What you'd have to do, you'd have to, because the Cleveland Milwaukee game is kind of irrelevant. I mean, you could play Love, but they're not whatever. Chicago, New Orleans is sort of irrelevant. Miami, Toronto is important because you have to decide whether you're playing Denver or not. But there's nobody else in Toronto's in that game that's particularly critical. Boston, Atlanta, you are going to have to choose what to do from there. So that's interesting. Indiana, Charlotte, we talked about. So yeah, so 7 o'clock, we do have to decide if we want to take a shot with Shea. And so that is a legitimate decision that's to be made. So basically, from these early games, decisions are going to be Bamba or not, Shea or not, what's his name, LaMelo or not. Then a half hour later, we have to decide Dedmon or not. Miami, we have to, Boston, Atlanta, we have to decide which Boston value. Also at 7:30, we have to decide Dedmon. Then you get a break. You don't have to worry about the 8 o'clock games. 8:30, you have Dallas, and then an hour and a half to Denver, Golden State, Phoenix. So I think that all else being equal, you're probably supposed to backload Dallas, Denver, and Phoenix. Just gives you a little more flexibility to screw around if things are going the way you want or if things are not going the way you want. All right, so let's see if we have another. See if we have any Orlando update yet. It does. Yep, there it is. So here, they still do not know if he is starting. Roto-Grinders has him really high, actually, like 30 fantasy points, which is really, really strong. So I'm gonna upload these guys. Then I have a couple of more models I have to look at. Then I won't say finalize. At least I'll finalize my 7 p.m. run. And I'll definitely come back for the 7:30. I might have to just keep this rolling. Why not? You know, as I mentioned, I had this is being run through Stakings too. So if anybody's staking me on there, if they have my page up, they have this. So I may as well have them. They could certainly voyeur the building of the lineups. I suppose that's legal. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm not really sharing my screen, but I'm just kind of talking through it. So again, just to talk through what I'm doing now, I am updating the projections as it relates to the Orlando news, that being that Wendell Carter Jr. is out. There's one other model I'm waiting on that I really trust that I have to wait on. So give me a sec. Hopefully it's up now. Doesn't look like it though. Just a little bit annoying. And what I could do is I could just run something. What is this guy doing? Let me just see what it would look like if I just ran it without the first model. And then I'll let you guys know what impact it has on Dedmon, for example. Like if I run, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run one
with, I mean, it's basically 2/3 confidence. It's the best way I can describe it. So what I will do is I'll share the actual projection. Like actually, you won't even be able to recognize it, but I'll show it to you anyway if you want. So this is kind of like inside information. I'll put this up here though. Wait, so where'd you guys go? Here you are. So if we share this screen, lineup is out now. Okay, thanks, David. So this doesn't give you like the ranking, it just gives you the pure fantasy points. So, but let me just see like what Bamba would be listed here. And this raw, this is like a raw file. Mo Bamba would be at 27 fantasy points. I mean, still 1,000 more than Dedmon, who was projected at pretty much the same, right? Dwayne Dedmon is 27. So let me just run another build. You like Tatum? I just don't know. Just don't know if that's the idea. Over to spend up like that today. You could be right. That's just what we're gonna do. I'll tell you what, we'll make a SaberSim build over here with the info that we have about that. Okay, actually I'll pull it up so you can see it. Okay, so SaberSim build right now, this is what it would look like. For MME, let me see what this let's see what this looks like. Still like Dinwiddie's kind of a lock and the usual guys. And yeah, Bamba is getting in there. So that's interesting. I'm getting more Butler than I thought too. Okay, so this all makes somewhat sense. So Dinwiddie, Hardaway, Dedmon, Wood, Butler, Bamba. Oh, these are all very normal plays. Okay, I like this actually. I like this initial. Again, this is going to have to. I'm going to do another update after. I may as well after the 7 o'clock games are go. But for now, this is definitely going to be my MME builds. So we'll put this in here. Now we'll put this as my bigger buy-in. Just for the hell of it. I do want to finish this with the information that I have, but I should have. So I want to finish my. Probably going to be too late, but I'll wait as long as I can before doing it. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of Suggs too. Let me. You know what I'll do? I'll do the same thing for FanDuel. See what I have here. We're just playing MME over here. I know all these guys are out. Oh, well, I don't have crap. I'm gonna exclude out players. You know what I gotta do? I gotta do the same thing. Sorry, hold on. Hopefully it's up now. 644. I mean, you're really taking this right down to the wire, aren't you? Okay, there it is. Hold on. They got Bamba at. All right, so it's probably going to be similar, but we'll fix this. You know, hope it's not too late, but I literally can't do any better than this. Okay, so it's DraftKings. There's FanDuel. I also like, by the way, I like Washington against the spread tonight, if anybody cares. So I want to run this one more time. Let's run this one last time. I'll let you know what it does. And then I'll do one more SaberSim build for both. And then I will probably take a break for like 15 minutes. So I can get a better look at the 7:15, 7:30. May as well keep it rolling though. Or maybe I'll just fire up again. That's fine too. All right, so let's just take a look at it first. I always like to look at it before I just blindly run it. Or before I launch it. Just in case it just doesn't look right. Yeah, same guys. But Bamba, yeah, definitely gets a bump. So let's upload this to the site first. Isn't that nice? I upload it to the site before I actually use it for my own play. Isn't that sporty of me? Okay, let's put it up here first. So you know what we got? We got plenty of time. So let's do once again and see if it changes. But you know, let me do. What do I want to do first? Let's do FanDuel first this time. And we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, that was Excel. Yeah, so let's run first FanDuel so we see what it looks like. Ignore these. And we'll run. I'm going to run 50 just to see what it looks like. I don't think I'm getting either of those, Eric. Actually, that's not true. I'm getting like all the honest on FanDuel, if that matters. I mean, literally all of it. Because you could afford it so easily, I suppose. Then there's Dinwiddie, Hardaway, LaMelo, Kevin Love, Campaign, interesting. Christian Wood, Booker, then Dedmond. So this is where I'm at. But this is, you're getting like, I'm literally getting all the honest on FanDuel. And you know what? I'm probably not gonna have any of the DraftKings, so I'm not gonna fight it. I'm gonna throw it in there. So let me do that first. CSV edit. That's amazing. The difference. Okay, so let's put this up here. I guess that extra Bamba value just opened everything up just that much more, I suppose. Okay. Yeah. So we have an FML. What do we got? Oh, you're using little Nance. Okay. Okay. So let me do another. Let's do another SaberSim build now. See what's changed because of the bombardments. No Boucher for you sheets? Nah, it doesn't look that way. Hardaway, Dedmon, Dinwiddie, Bamba, Wood, Pritchard, Booker, LaMelo. I'm getting a lot of Giannis actually on DraftKings. How about them apples? Boy, oh boy. How do you like that? That's what happens. You get just that extra little bit of value, and then the rest of it all just comes crashing down on you, huh? Yeah, I'm getting a whole bunch of it. What can I tell you? And it's like so impossible to believe that I'm going to do it. How funny is that? So there. So we'll put this up here, and let me just see what I have, at least for now, in my big buy-in. Yeah, I got Giannis in some of the big buy-ins, some have not, but I mean, in full disclosure, I have a full, 50% of a $12,700 guy on a 100-game slate. Can I tell you? Okay, what else do we have? What other news is coming out there? Is it anything official coming out of Miami with respect to Dedmon as far as starting lineups are concerned? It's an interesting question, huh? The one thing I want to do is I do want to force myself a little bit more of the Denvers. This new Bamba news, I have much less Denvers than I did otherwise, so I want to force myself to do that. So let's get a little more. Well, I have a lot of him, but why am I getting no more Jamal Murray after all this? Well, you know what? I'm not going to get caught with that in my back pocket. Got to get at least some of this. I want at least 30% of these guys. 30% Gordon, 30% him, 30% Michael Porter. I mean, that it's a late game. I mean, yeah, this looks a little bit better. All this Suggs. Boy, oh boy. Dinwiddie, huh? Porter. It's a little less. Pritchard, Murray, Love, Gordon, Nance, Pritchard, Dinwiddie, Hardaway. Hardaway one annoys me just a little bit. We're going to reduce him. Dedmon will keep high owned. Mamba will keep high owned. Suggs I want to reduce a little bit. Reduce a little bit. So now it's Dedmon, Mamba, Dinwiddie, Booker, Wood, Murray. Okay, this looks a little bit better. Okay, this looks like much more palatable. Love, and then that means I'm getting less Giannis. Okay, this is probably more what I kind of wanted. This Giannis thing just didn't make any sense to me. Let's give Love a little bit less love, so to speak. Let's only make him 20. Dedmon, Dinwiddie, Wood, Mamba, Hardaway, LaMelo, Booker, Murray. Get some Tatum just to make what's his name happy. Gordon, Suggs, Porter, Nance, Pritchard. Oh, very good. This is nice. It's a much better. Now you know what, Jordan's just gonna have to. He's gonna eat it. You know what I mean? Like, fan of everybody. Like 4 minutes. Oh, I thought I was in a time crunch. 4 minutes. It's got to be a freaking joke, right? Yeah, I knew all that baloney with the Giannis didn't make sense. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to leave it on FanDuel, but I'm not going to. I'm still going to be under on DraftKings. Actually, technically, I'll probably like with the field on DraftKings, I'll have like 10% because I'll have like 10%. Yeah, this all looks good. Hardaway, Dinwiddie, Pritchard, Wood, Dedmon. These are the guys I want to play. 45% Booker. I think you'd like that one, right? Right, Bobby? I presume that's Bobby approved. You've locked in Bamba. I don't mind that, Iron Man. I really don't mind that at all. So I know there's probably news that we don't know about yet, but I think I'm kind of good for now. Should I do one more run on FanDuel? Yeah, you know what? Just for the hell of it, let me go back to my FanDuel build. I'll leave it to fate. If I can get this changed in time, then I'll keep it. Otherwise, I'll just keep it. So instead of having 90% Giannis, we're going to do max 40. Both does get mad at me. I'll play what they consider, what I think are like kind of the better plays. I'll do a little less ball over here. Dinwiddie, Hardaway, Wood. Okay, this is all good. Payne. So we'll download these, and we're gonna let fate decide. I think we have plenty of time, right? We got 2 minutes. So we have 2 minutes. The clock is ticking. I should be able to get this done. Let's see. Oh, plenty of time. Boom. Boom. And boom. Edit. And we are done. So I may or may not come back on here in a few minutes. But if I don't, good luck, everybody. And if I do, then you'll just get a notification that I went back on. That'll do it. Good luck.